The story begins on an ordinary Saturday. We see Lee going through his apartment, cleaning every nook and cranny with a bucket and a sponge. He polishes the pool table, sprays the couch, and organizes his manga collection with care, like a curator in a museum. He gets to his bedroom and hears a rustling sound.
The hell? There better not be a bird or something trapped in there.
He begins scooping out dust bunnies with a broom, putting them in a plastic bag. As he does so, he hears more rustling and then giggling. He sits up and looks around.
Hello? Anyone?
He gets up, brandishing his broom like a club.
Seriously, if there's someone in there, you better show yourself now. I mean it. I will mess you up with this thing.
He hears more rustling and looks down to see the plastic bag moving by itself. As he leans forward to inspect it further, several tendrils shoot out and grab him in the face. He rolls around on the floor, screaming as more of the dust bunnies come out of the woodworks and begin wrapping themselves around Lee.
Ah! No! Not the dust bunnies!
He tries reaching for his phone, but at the last minute he goes limp, laying there in his dust bunny cocoon. A day later, we see JJ and Luca knocking on Lee's door. As they wait, they look around. So, what do you think this emergency meeting is all about? Dunno, but it must be important. He rarely uses the words emergency meeting. As they continue to wait, a thought comes to Luca. Hey, have we ever had an emergency meeting? No, don't think so. Not in the 4 months we've been in operation. 4 months? Phew! We have been busy. Hardly. All we did was kill a giant worm, a Balrog, and some mutant watermelons. And I was rounding up, really. We've only been in business for 3 months, 1 week, and 2 days. Luca impatiently pounds on the door. Oi, Suchek! Let us in! What's this text message you sent us about an emergency? Meeting. Emergency meeting. Suchek? The door suddenly opens, but it's dark inside. The two exchange glances before entering. As they do so, the door slams shut behind them. They look around nervously, but see there's no one else in. Lee? Buddy? You there? They round the corner to see Lee standing with his back towards them, looking introspectively out the window. Luca sees a lot of dust bunnies all over the place and waves his hand. Suchek, man, in case you hadn't noticed, your place is long overdue for spring cleaning. I'll say it's almost time for back to school. Is it really? Jeez, man, it's like the summer just flew by like that. I mean, the saying must be true. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, I really wouldn't call it fun. Not when our lives are in danger on a few occasions. Why must you be such a pessimist, JJ? Enough. The two looked to Suchek, who was speaking in a different voice altogether. Bushwackers, I have summoned you here. Alright. Suchek, are you auditioning for something? What's with the voice? Must be laryngitis. No, then his voice would be raspy, not deep and Britishy. Lee turns around and they are horrified. His body is covered in dust bunnies and his eyes are glowing. Suchek? I am Komzatar. I am king of the Comtera, or as you call us, Dust Bunnies. Seriously? Well, here we go with another trope. Alright, what have you done with our friend? Is he safe? Yada yada yada. Your friend is fine. He is alive and his consciousness is intact. Show us. He closes his eyes, and when he opens them, he looks normal.
Luca? JJ? What are you doing here?
You sent us a text message about an emergency meeting, remember?
What?
Lee's eyes glow again, and the king of the Dust Bunnies returns. Yes, 'twas I who summoned you. I need your help. With what? Our people have been locked in an eternal struggle with the Arachnid Empire. They spin a thread that can disable and kill our kind, and they mean to have us out of the way in order to dominate the Earth. We must not let that happen. We must survive. Will you help us? Luca and JJ look at each other. A moment, please. They scurry off to the kitchen. Well, what do you think? I'm thinking this is getting way out of hand. No, it's legit, alright. I personally know Lee cannot talk like that. And we go way back. If you say so. They're basically at war with spiders because their webs can poison dust bunnies? Well, that's basically the gist of it. Huh. Super. They walk over to Konzatar. Alright, we will help you on one condition. That you release our friend. Very well. I will do so only once our mission is complete. Alright. I really thought that'd go a different way. Seriously? Come, Bushwackers. We have much to do. It cuts to the woods where Konzatar leads the Bushwackers. They're climbing up a steep hill with a narrow path. As they climb, they see the trees are covered in webs, and they notice several thousand presences in their midst. Hey, so, not that it's none of my business, but how long has this war been going on between you two? For as long as mankind has been on this earth. I see. So, your Majesty, I can call you that. You may. Super. Your Majesty, where are we going? Hush. I mustn't speak aloud, for we are in their midst. Yeah, I've noticed. The Arachnid Empire has encroached on our territory, massacring our people, enslaving others, and turning several into food. Luca and JJ stop and look at each other. Well, isn't that a weird thought? Tell me about it. Spiders eating dust bunnies? As preposterous as it sounds, a spider's digestive tract can extract the necessary nutrients from our fluffy bodies. To you mere humans, it would be like swallowing a pine cone, but to them... He looks around. We are like steaks. As he continues, they shrug. I wouldn't exactly put it that way. So, Your Majesty, we've got backup, right? It's not just us three who are going to do, well, whatever the hell it is you're planning for us to do. But they reach the crest of the ridge to see a hive that looks hundreds of feet tall. They see spiders scurrying in and out, and, to their amazement, some are 3 feet tall. Lee turns around. Fattened from the flesh of my people. Sure. If you say so. It cuts to the inside of the hive, where it is a labyrinth of webs and catwalks. There are red band spiders crawling around, patrolling the perimeter, while light emanates from several shafts from the ceiling. The trio sneak in through an opening with JJ brandishing a spider's leg. Gotta say, these things cut 10 times better than a chainsaw. It's like it went right through the wall with no problem. Of course. Those are the very tools that built this massive edifice. Great. So, where to? Lee's eyes look upward. Ah, jeez. I hate heights. It cuts to a circular chamber where a mass of spiders enthroned, surrounded by smaller but aggressive-looking spiders. Suddenly, the guards screech and keel over as the Bushwackers emerge. The Queen? Empress. Ah. So bigger than a king. Gentlemen, welcome to our fortress. I hope you found the tour mildly enjoyable. She turns around. And you do have an excellent guide, however misguided he may be. Konzatar. Is this what the king of the Kontera had been reduced to? Possessing inferior creatures to accomplish a modicum of false success. Shitara, you dare! How many of my people have you slaughtered, all in the name of your precious empire? Even now I see the remains of my kin strewn all over the walls of this place, this slaughterhouse. Your kind have been a nuisance to the sword for eons, Konzatar. How often have men swept you from their homes and into the streets to mingle with the Lindair, the Dosmites, and the Kingdom of the Moss? We still function in both practical and aesthetic ways. We will remain, but your time has come to an end. No, not unless I end you. Really, mortals? This is with whom you ally? The last king of a dying breed? We can offer so much. Two smaller spiders emerge holding a chest gleaming with gold. A trove gathered from centuries, once baubles to kings and emperors, now at our disposal. Oh, wow. Luca, look. I'm seeing it, but still not believing it. Bushwackers, please, honor our agreement. Right, I'm sorry. Your Grace, but we cannot accept this. We can't? JJ, our friend is still under this guy's control. Oh, shit, you're right. He looks at the chest. But this could change so much. Think about it. With this kind of loot, we don't need to run this business, putting our lives in danger week after week, fighting all sorts of freaks. We could just live comfortably. That is tempting, but we made a promise, and by God, we're going to keep it. Speak for yourself. JJ? JJ, no! Well, it seems one of you has some sense. Guards, take the interlopers away. I do believe today is the feast day of the Red Widows, and we have plenty to celebrate. It cuts to a giant web with Lee and Luca bound in webbing. Luca struggles, while Lee remains quiet and pensive. Shit! You think that something that can be swatted away with a feather would have some give, but it's not. Ow! It's not budging. He turns to Lee. Hey, man, you alright? I can't believe it. This may be over. All those months and months of planning come to naught. We hoped this would be the moment where we finally turn the tide, but we were betrayed. Yeah, no. That JJ was flaky from the very beginning. Where are we exactly? Oh, these are the torture webs. That's the reason why you cannot break those bonds. They use a special type of web with the tensile strength of iron. Do you think you can loosen them? Well, it is possible, but what's the point? Alright, look. I will admit this war is a bit silly. But you asked us to help you out, and I at least will honor that. Even if JJ won't. Now, is there any specific place that we can attack that's important and vulnerable? By the gods, you're right. There's a hatchery 2 levels down. If we can destroy it, that will severely hamper their efforts. But, there's always a but. By destroying the hatchery, we'd be no better than them. We'd commit genocide on a scale that would reverberate throughout the world. Well, maybe not to that scale. Hey, how about this? You loosen these bonds, and I'll go and do the thing that you won't do. Lee throws back his head, and we see strands of gray emerge from every orifice in his head. It slides over into the webs, and soon Luca is standing there, rubbing his wrists. The strands loosen Lee's webs, and then slide back into his head. God almighty. I wonder if that hurts coming out as it is going in. Lee sits up. But wait. If we destroy the hatchery, would it not be proportionate to the slaughter against my people? And if we enact the deed, we would be on equal footing. Then other races and species would say there's nothing to differentiate between us. Enemies soon become alike. No, there must be another way. We must truly have some commonality. What will result in this bloodshed? Attrition? Will Comterra and Arachnids wipe each other off the face of the earth? And yet, through this evil act, we may end future evils. Hello? He turns to see he is all by himself. Luca, meanwhile, has climbed into the hatchery. He sees little red sacks all over the place. As he steps gingerly, he hears a noise and ducks behind a console, but sees a red dot. He looks at it, and there's a squeal, and he screams and jumps back, his foot going through one of the sacks. He pulls his foot out to see it covered in red liquid in a misshapen heap stuck to his shoe. Ah, for the love of... He hears a noise and pulls out a gun and slowly walks in the direction of the noise. He is prepared to fire when he stops. JJ? Hey. What? What are you doing? Oh. I see. You and the Empress are in cahoots and you're here to stop me, eh? Well, guess who's got the gun? I'm not here to stop you, I'm here to help. Luca lowers the gun. Seriously? Then what was it with that whole betrayal bit back there? Oh, I was acting. Get it? I had to earn the Empress's trust and she opened up. She said she knew the Dust Bunnies would make a run for the hatchery as it's where the next generation are. Suddenly there is an explosive sound and scuttling noise. I'm assuming that's backup? No, your guess is as good as mine. You still got the goods? Luca reaches into his trousers and pulls out a belt of explosives. I'll let you handle it. They set about planting explosives, and as they're about to set them off, they hurry to the exit to see spiders scurrying in with more repelling from the ceiling. Luca proceeds to fire his gun, killing a few, but they begin to overpower them. Suddenly strands appear from the ground, wrap themselves around the spiders and crush them. One of the spiders is possessed. Bushwackers. Uri. There isn't much time and Gonzadar needs help. Are you kidding me? You could have possessed these 8-legged bastards all along. Unbelievable. Uri. The Dust Bunnies continue to wrap themselves around the remaining troops, squeezing them as their hapless victims shriek in pain. The spiders are crushed and torn apart. The two scurry out of the hatchery as it explodes and hurry to the throne room where the Empress is waiting for them. Fools! Traitors! Nincompoops! Sorry? You will pay for your transgressions. Yes, by Arachnid, you will pay for what you have done. As she approaches them, Lee emerges from the flames. Go. This is between us. Wait, what about our friend? Lee opens his mouth and we see a wave of gray strands shoot out and wrap themselves around the Empress, squeezing so hard we hear the carapace crack and fluid oozing out. Lee then turns to his companions. Bushwackers, I thank you. We will never forget this. The last strand shoots out and impales itself into the Empress's head. She screams and topples backwards into the inferno below. Lee collapses to the ground. JJ and Luca grab him by the arms and scurry out as the hive collapses all around them. Back at Lee's apartment, he is lying in bed when he sits up and looks around to find his room in a mess. He sees the sun shining through the blinds and peers at his clock to see it is late in the afternoon. He rubs his head and walks out to the living room to see Luca and JJ watching TV. So, what's this show? Cousins. Basically, it's a reality show that follows these women who are marrying their cousins. That's a thing? You'd be surprised what kind of messed up crap they'll put on TV these days. Suchek, buddy, how you feeling? Lee pulls out a strand out of his ear.
Guys, what the hell happened?
What do you mean?
I woke up with this splitting headache, and there are dust bunnies in my ear. Oh, and I was doing some spring cleaning on Saturday, and it's Monday afternoon. Was I out for 3 days?
Luca and JJ exchange looks.
Guys!
Well, it's like this, Suchek. What happened was you were possessed by Dust Bunnies. Well, King of the Dust Bunnies. Yes, thank you. The King of the Dust Bunnies. See, he needed our help to defeat the spiders who were carrying out a genocidal agenda. Ironically, we had to destroy their hatchery, thereby committing genocide. Right, and the king was killed fighting the Arachnid Empress. It all happened, I swear it. I can back it up. Lee looks at the two incredulously.
Are you too high or something?
What? No, all this really did happen.
Don't talk shit. Do you know what I think happened? I think you two were experimenting with something. Because that's what you film students do. Slipped a Mickey into my drink, had a big party, and are now covering it up with a stupid story about dust bunnies going to war with spiders? Seriously? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
But it's true.
Guys, please get help. Please. Being possessed by the King of the Dust Bunnies? What will they think of next?
As he walks back into his room, another thought occurs to him.
And you seriously need to help with all these dust bunnies. God, where are they all coming from?
Luca and JJ exchange looks as one of them rolls over to them. They nod approvingly, and the dust bunny rolls away.